Bharat, you make me think, and the reason I enjoy so much of our industry is I meet like-minded colleagues like you. You have a financial services background. What you do is very serious. You also have your ISACA background, and you share. And I feel the phrase "together is better." It's such a powerful phrase, isn't it? And over the last few years, I thought I knew cybersecurity until I then went out, as you know, and met every CISO and security professional I could get my hands on to learn from them. And you opened my eyes because I focus so much on the attack, and we look at the APT, the what and the how. But then you look at the humbling psychology and human aspects of what drives these frauds and scams. Perhaps it refocuses you. I found that to be a very humbling moment. And it's rare I would have an hour to sit down and listen to a podcast, per se. I'm normally talking with people.
That's a good point, right? Even when we work in the industry, when we work with business enterprise, we usually talk about all the technical controls we want to build to safeguard our attack surface. How much importance do we actually give to training and uplifting knowledge and keeping up with the industry as well when it comes to the human? Okay, we are pretty good with ensuring that people are kind of punished when they do the wrong thing. But do we actually spend enough budget to ensure they are not doing the wrong thing by providing them sufficient training? And this training, by the way, ecosystem is changing very, very frequently right now with the introduction of AI, machine learning, deepfakes. Yet training is something, especially in Australia, we are not doing amazing amount of work up there. America is doing a lot. Dubai just released or created a law around AI training for all the children in the school. Really? But we do not have anything.
We've recently in Australia brought in, obviously, the age limit in social media, and the use cases you share there, or let's say abuse cases, are very real and scary. But the awareness is there. And also, if we go to corporate, running phishing training, to try and trick someone and induce them to trick them. I don't know about you, but I've analyzed so many phishing. I say phishing. Let's draw a metaphor. This picture on the wall here, whilst it's funky and cool, it's a piece of art, right? But so is a Picasso. And if you think about that, not all phishing is equal either. Obviously, we're lucky we have very sophisticated organizations. You and I are vulnerable to it too, because we can be tricked into fake art, if you want to use that metaphor.
100%. Unfortunately, no. I think with the introduction of AI as well, what's real versus what's not, the lines are now blurred more than before anything else. Anyone can go in one of those generative AI tools and put a prompt. Imagine you're Picasso and you want to draw a landscape. How would you draw it? And your generative AI tools are so smart to understand what Picasso would be thinking, what Picasso will be doing. It will draw exactly what Picasso will be drawing. Obviously, you can even add your own flavor on it by being smart with your prompt. That Picasso is looking at sun, or Picasso is looking at the CBD of Pearl. Clearly, that wasn't possible for Picasso. But it can bring all those flavors now. Whether you agree it or not, I think in America a couple of years back, there was a drive about, okay, when it comes to generative AI, you need to have some kind of mechanism to at least identify it's been generated by Gen AI, which was basically putting a logo. But more work needs to happen up there. People can be fooled. People actually loves good deal. People actually loves getting the bargain. People can be fooled very easily when there is a right hook. But it comes down to the government, our diplomats, to ensure that there are right policies, right controls, guardrails out there, which can at least help individual to protect themselves on a bigger scale. Like I was listening to Jeffrey Hinton, who is a Nobel Prize winner, and he is also known as godfather of AI. He has spent 10 years working in Google, helping developing their Google Gemini. And when you start listening to him, he usually talk about safety of AI, and that's his biggest worry. He is openly currently saying that all the white-collar knowledge jobs will disappear in coming days. And the only job, if you want to be employed, the only job for you is basically be a plumber. It's a hand-on. AI cannot replace you. So there is that huge fear in the industry. People who knows, they know that things are not looking very bright right now.
It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? This acceleration here, but we're sort of hanging on to legacy approach. And, I'm curious about the root cause of, my statement, which is what will get you hacked. we look at the root cause of this, and it used to be that so much protection was around applications, let's say, whatever the application may be, and the architecture around it and cloud security, and they're still very valid. But I came up with a very simple metaphor the other day, just on a phone call. And it's as if our scope is really A through Z now, in every letter in the alphabet, plus some numbers as well. And the problem is when we test traditionally way, A for app, there you go. There are so many other ways into an organization. But if you look at the real nasty breaches, they often start with a human being who clicks on something or is induced to do something or cruises by a site and some misconfiguration in their browser. One way or another, a token, a cookie, a foothold is gained, and it's usually a low-level user. But we then have a major problem in that once that barrier is overcome, even if we've got a hybrid organization, the inside can never and is never protected in the same way. So it's even more important now that we stop that initial foothold. There's a whole discussion set, of course, around detect and respond, which everyone talks about, but I see very few people really do well. How many times does that parachute actually work? You've worked so much thinking around understanding the ecosystem of what scams are that does get to the human.